Hey guys, it's Cece with Nachanana's Crochet back with another tutorial. Today I'm going to be making a floor length cover up. I'm starting with yarn in the color Blossom and a 4mm hook. I'm going to start by making a slip knot and chaining 52. This chain needs to be long enough to reach from one shoulder to the other. So on this tutorial, I'm doing things a little bit differently. I typically start by making up like a mock version of the project before I do the tutorial, but on this one, I just decided to just go ahead and record me doing it on the first attempt. So there are a few things that I would do differently, and I'll be sure to tell you what they are throughout the video. You also want to make sure that your chain is an even number because of the pattern of the project. So if you make your chain and it's 57, just go ahead and make it 58. Now, once you have your desired length, you're going to chain 4. So to start the first row, we're going to skip the initial 4 stitches and go into the 5th with a double crochet. Then you chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and go into the next with a double crochet. You're going to continue this for the length of the chain. After you complete the first row, this is what the project should look like. Now, once you've done that, you're going to start the second row by chaining 4 and turning your work. After you chain 4 and turn your work, you're going to go into that stitch on the top of the first double crochet with another double crochet. Then you're going to chain 1 and go into that next stitch on top of the double crochet with a double crochet. And you're going to continue that for the remainder of the row. When you reach the end of the second row, you're going to place a double crochet into the third stitch of the chain 4. Once you reach the end of the second row, you're going to chain 4 and turn your work. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did for the second row. So you'll go into the stitch where the double crochet is and place a double crochet and then chain 1 and repeat for the remainder of the row. So here you can see the 3 complete rows. I did a total of 33 rows, which was the length of my torso basically. So here you can see all 33 rows. So these 33 rows basically go from my shoulder down to my hip, or where your panty line would be. So I'm going to start the next row by chaining 4 and turning my work. On this row, we're going to do a decrease on each end. So we're going to start by skipping that initial double crochet stitch and going into the second double crochet stitch with a double crochet and then chain 1 and repeat that until we get to the end of the row. So we've made it to the end of the row. There's one double crochet stitch in the chain 4 left. We're going to skip that double crochet and go into the third chain of the chain 4 with a double crochet. And as you can see, there's one that's skipped on each end, which is going to be the decrease. Then you're going to chain 4 and turn your work. And then we're going to do this row basically like a normal row. So you'll go into the first double crochet stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, and repeat for the remainder of the row. When you reach the end of the row, you're going to chain 4. This is what it should look like so far. Once you've chained 4, turn your work, and we're going to do another regular row. So double crochet on top of the double crochet stitch, chain 1, and repeat for the remainder of the row. So this is what the project should look like so far. I've done enough rows to cover my torso, and then at the panty line I did a decrease row, and then I started making the bottom of the panel. Now for the bottom of the panel, you do want to make it long enough to go down to the floor. If you do have a little some in the back, you probably want to make it longer than you think it needs to be, because it will hike it up in the back, and you will see at the end what I mean. So to make the second panel, you do exactly the same thing as you did for the first panel. Make sure that you make it identical which mine happened to be like a stitch off, and I did not feel like remaking it. But here you'll see me crocheting the two panels together. So for this part, I made it long enough to go from my shoulder to my neck. Now, the second critique that I have is if your head is large, like mine, make sure that you give yourself a little extra room. So, whatever the measurement is from your shoulder to your neck, just decrease that a little bit. Just make the neck hole a little wider to give your head some space to fit in to the cover up, because I have a lot of hair and a lot of head. So I had to squeeze my head inside of this, and I do not want that to happen to you as well. So where I place um the stitch marker was the length from my shoulder to where my neck is. The way that I'm crocheting these together is by going through the top stitch of each of the panels and then placing a single crochet on top of that. So this is what it should look like. You're going to chain one, cut your yarn, and do the same thing on the other side. So crochet the top together using a single crochet until you get to your stitch marker. And remember, give yourself some room, please. This is what it should look like when both of the sides are complete for the top. I've also placed stitch markers from the shoulder down to where I want the armhole to be, which for me is about 8 inches. And I'm going to start to crochet from the hip up to where the stitch marker is for the armhole. So I'm going to start by making a slip knot and then attaching it to where the decrease is for the hip. To attach it, I've gone under both of the chain twos and then pulled through that slip stitch in chain one. Now I'm going to place 2 double crochets on top of the chain two and then place 2 double crochets on top of the next chain two. And I'm going to continue to place 2 double crochets on top of each chain two until I get to where my stitch marker is for my armhole. And I meant to say slip knot, not slip stitch. So this is what the side looks like when it's completed. I single crocheted together from the decrease on the hip up to where I need the armhole to be. And now you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So single crochet it together from the decrease, which is on the hip or the panty line, up to where the armhole needs to be. Now that you've crocheted both sides of the project together, this is what it should look like. So you can see that I single crocheted from the panty line up to where the armhole is, and then from the shoulder to where the neck is. So now I'm going to do a single crochet border around the neckline, and I did 2 rows of single crochet. So this is what the border should look like around the neck. So it's just 2 rows of single crochet. Now I'm going to place a border around each of the armholes, and it's just going to be 1 row of single crochet. This is what it should look like once you've placed that single crochet border around the armhole. And you just do the exact same thing to the other side. This is what it should look like once you've completed the border for the neck and both of the arms. And then now you just have to put the border around the base of the project, which is the longer part when it comes to the borders. So you just I started from the bottom and I went across the base and then up the side, down the side, across the base, up the side, and then back down. I will not force you to watch all of that, but I'll put a little clip in here of the border. One of the other things that I was thinking could have been done, just as an afterthought, is maybe not crocheting the sides of the project together at all and just lacing them up with just a chain. I think that would have been really cute as well. But I did like how it turned out this way. But I think either way would be really cute. When I do the corners, I do like them to be crisp. So I go all the way to the end, chain one, and then go underneath that single crochet from the last row with the first single crochet for the side. I hope that makes sense, but that's how I make the corners look nice and sharp. I'm doing the borders on the sides by placing 2 single crochets wherever there's a chain 2 or a double crochet, and I'm going completely underneath the double crochet or chain 2 and not in between it. So this is what the final look looks like. I love it. I love this yarn. I think this color is so pretty. Um, I love the way it looks in the front. As you can see, it did hike up some in the back, so it is a little short. So I would do that differently. But other than that, I really love the way that this one looks. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. If you make it, please tag me, especially if you're making it for your business. But thank y'all. I love y'all. Bye.